Hey gamers, my name is Centurion1307 and this is my first video ever, and I want to thank you for checking it out. If you do like the video, please thumbs up and subscribe. Now for why we are here, we take another crazy trip down the Far Cry rabbit hole in Far Cry New Dawn. The game came out last Friday at an amazing price at $40 US. From the moment you start the game, you jump headfirst into this crazy world where power is the currency of choice and you're either a problem solver or a problem maker. End quote. This is the ideology of this Far Cry's main protagonists, the twins. A pair of twins, obviously, that believe that they are now in control of this wasteland by ruling the group known as the Highwaymen. And as in every Far Cry series, which has been known to have great bad guys with awesome personalities that are one of a kind, this Far Cry is no different and delivers to Far Cry fans. Just going back to Hope County has made me want to play Far Cry 5 again. It's been 17 years since the events of Far Cry 5, and nature has taken back over and changed. The animals have grown and have abilities that now suit the hostile environment that has been created as a result of the nuclear bomb. The environment feels familiar but different at the same time due to the relics of the previous game still standing. But before we get into what makes it feel like a Far Cry game, let's talk about the subtle changes that have been made to the game structure. Let's start with the character creator. With Far Cry New Dawn wanting to go the direction of an RPG, they have now put a much more heavy emphasis onto character design. As you can see in the video, I spent a lot more time in creating my character than I did in Far Cry 5. In Far Cry 5, when I first started up the game, it felt like there wasn't as many options as there is in New Dawn, so I just quickly built my character to move on to the story. In this one, I actually took a look at the designs that were available so that way I could create a character that would be more to my likeness. But just like in Far Cry 5, if you're not too thrilled with the options available to you for free, you can always get your wallet out and take into one of the very unintrusive microtransactions and actually buy some of the outfits that they have available in the Far Cry store, and using the new currency that they're coming out with known as Far Cry credits. Now with this RPG role being something new to Ubisoft, I'm very curious to see what this is going to be like going forward in other Far Cry games. Now, along with other changes, the map has also been changed a little bit as well. It is smaller in scale compared to Far Cry 5, but there is a lot more information available on the map, as in because this is an RPG style game, there is a much more heavier emphasis on crafting. So on the map, as you discover locations, you'll get little icons showing what locations contain crafting items and how many of those crafting items are there, so you can go back at later times in the game and collect said crafting items. Along with keeping track of the location of crafting items, it also helps keep track of locations of the outposts for establishing ethanol to build your base, and also specialists that have their own perks and sometimes their own automobiles exclusive to that specialist to help build your base and create an experience tailored to you. Just like in previous Far Cry games, you have your inventory that will help you keep track of quest items, like actually the pictures you see here, which I think is really cool, that the game actually wants you to go back and find some of the original landmarks from Far Cry 5 to see how they have fared over the past 17 years. Along with keeping track of these quest items, it also keeps track of the usual animal pelts, ammunition, and various crafting resources, along with the base crafting resources. In this game, you will have to craft and upgrade your base and your weapons. There's really not too many weapon vendors. A majority of the weapons that you will have, you will craft on your own. And just like in Far Cry 5, you have the perks menu, where as you complete achievements in the game and do missions, you even find them laying around in magazines, you accumulate perk points. And you cash these perk points in for skills to basically mold the character into creating the experience that you're wanting. If you want to crack safes, you get that perk, the repair torch, the wingsuit, etc. Alright, time for the big change of the game, and that is your base. The base is actually a lot larger than I thought it would be, as in there is multiple ways to upgrade this base. There's a helicopter that you can rebuild to take you on to extra missions of the game. There is a training area to basically increase how effective your specialists are. There's an explosives area, an infirmary, weapons crafting. Again, there is a heavy emphasis in weapons crafting in this game. There is actually 3 levels to your weapons crafting, so to have some of the better guns of the game, you're going to have to really upgrade your weapons crafting for sure. Also, there is a number of other crafting areas to improve your map, health, and other features of the game. And this is all running off of a resource called ethanol. Ethanol is life for your base. The more ethanol you have, the more upgrades you will get. The way you create ethanol is by doing missions, taking outposts, and finding it in the environment while exploring. As you can also see in the video, there is also other things that you have to basically get in the game to upgrade your base. Certain upgrades will require you to have a certain specialist or have done a certain mission to basically upgrade that part of your base. Now, please do not be alarmed at how much I am mentioning the crafting in this game, as in the crafting amounts that you will need to do some of the crafting aren't astronomical. You don't have to go out and completely grind this game out just to build up your base or get a gun. Now, you just can't start the game and go collect all the resources to create a level 3 workbench to craft weapons on. You must actually upgrade the base itself to a level 3 to have a level 3 workbench on your base. So there is a little bit of work that does have to go into the base to actually get it up to a level 3 status. Alright, now that I've got the background music turned off, we are going to basically go into the exploration of the game and let you get a feeling of the digital ecosystem that has been created now to this new iteration of the game. And so here we go. Now, as you can see in the video, it does feel and react like a typical Far Cry game. Now, that is not a bad thing at all. It is expected, and it is what I wanted out of this game. I wanted to be able to drive around, interact with the environment, also come up on prisoner trucks and other various just in the moment things that happen in the environment. But there is also the crazy wonkiness of the AI, both in the enemy NPCs and ally NPCs, as you'll see in the video.
I'm not wild on looking for outsiders for help, but we need it. The highwaymen have us outgunned. I've heard a lot of horror stories about the collapse bringing out the worst in people. but I think it brought the best out of Polk County.
Now, like in every Far Cry game, there is a lot of hoofing it around, but the environment is definitely very detailed, just like Far Cry 5. The particle effects are amazing, the dust blowing through the air, just everything about walking around the environment just has you looking at everything. And now the guy you see me talking to in this video, anytime you see that guy, you should really talk to him, because he gives you a location of basically a treasure stash of resources, perk points, and even sometimes the Far Cry credit packs are part of these treasure stashes. But it's not like in Far Cry 5 where you would get near one of these, the diamond would just show up. In this game, you have to physically talk to him and listen to his entire statement for him to tell you the location of the treasure stash. Now, I chose this mission to show because I thought it did a good job of not only showing the actual general mission structure of a side mission by just, encountering something that started a mission and actually doing the mission, but it just also wasn't just running around shooting things up. There was a little bit of an obstacle course involved, and also it just felt like there was a little bit more emotion involved in the fact of this mission in acquiring one of your allies. Now, I must also point out, in this footage you will notice the different colored bars above the characters that I am shooting, as they have different levels of difficulty to the characters, being purple as a level 2 and gold is generally a level 3, and the basic level 1s are just a whitish gray. As you encounter these characters, it does get pretty chaotic when you will run up to a group of level 1s and they're being backed up by about 1 or 2 gold characters. And then also in the footage you will notice the hit registration giving you a number. That is the amount of damage that you are doing to that character. As in, you will see a critical hit, it will go yellow, letting you know you're doing critical damage. As you level your character up, you'll want to bring these numbers up so that way you can deal heavier damage to heavier armored characters.
Let's go. 818, HOP, bet on me. You gon' see it. Ain't no thing, come on. When I hit the track, the show's on. Yeah, homie G, the code MC, rolling deep to your vicinity. I just had an epiphany, I don't know what it did to me, but I'm hoping the devil doesn't get into me. Still a beast hoops, it is me, it's finna be off the chain with a brand new delivery. Get in my way, the feeling the rage, sit in my veins, and I blast you to smith the please. I'll be damned if I'm thrown on the back burner. Fucking maniac purge in a rap server, the cat burglar, but we committed mass murder. That's word at the G.O.D. Fucking the game for the P.O.V. Niggas begging, they beat on me. We know peace, the D.O.G. I beat on beats. If niggas wanna die, they can lean on me. No bill with us. You see, I done built it up. You wishing you was on the field with us. I'm the ill nigga, no deal, look at me real niggas fucking with me. H.O.P. Bet on me. Prodigy. When I hit the track, I'm gone. I'm gone. Yeah. Nigga, better tell these hoes I'm kicking.
So I'm going to want to finish this review with some gameplay of the outposts. The outposts are where you're going to get a majority of the ethanol in this game. Now, when you capture an outpost, you can keep it, or you can take the ethanol resources and leave and allow the highwaymen to actually take it back. Now, when you do this, this will cause the outpost to gain a level rank rating higher than it was before. So when you go to take the outpost again, it will be a lot more difficult, but you will also be rewarded with more ethanol when you do it again. You can do this up to 3 times, capturing the base 3 times. Also in the gameplay I'm wanting to show is this new saw blade crossbow launcher. This thing is absolutely a lot of fun. You'll see here I was sniping NPCs very far away with it once I figured out how to arc the blades. They bounce off of each other. You can take down multiple enemies with this weapon. It's silent. This weapon is a lot of fun, and it is the very first weapon you will craft in the game. Now, I also might want to point out, as you upgrade the difficulty level of these outposts, the enemy AI does get smarter. I have tried to do a level 3 outpost and not succeeded so far, as the enemies will overwhelm you very quickly, and they are a lot more coordinated than when they're at a level 1.
Lie down, kitty.
Now, in closing, I can never tell anybody to just go out and spend their hard-earned money on a game. I can suggest, though, that if you have the money to buy the game, I do highly recommend it. Some would say it comes off as a DLC. I think it's a little bit bigger than that. But it is priced as a DLC, where I have seen some season passes in games go for $50 plus. The direction that Ubisoft is taking Far Cry seems like a positive one. I am looking forward to what they will do with the franchise and the different kinds of directions that they will take this franchise, both in gameplay and in story design. If you enjoyed Far Cry 5, I highly recommend going out and getting this game as soon as possible because it will totally help you remember why you fell in love with Far Cry 5. Please visit my blog, legionofgamer.com, where I will help you keep up with current events both in the gaming and entertainment industry, and you will also receive some opinionated pieces, but everything is kept pretty factual based on that blog, so please feel free to check it out anytime. I also like to use it as a resource for anybody who's looking to get into gaming or has questions about the gaming world and the direction that it's going today. Thank you again, and have a good day.